is not my fault.
Oh my God.
We have a brand new game.
I was trying to contain myself. Oh my.
Go option one, not safe. These dudes are insane.
And Brandon keep killing it.
What's good, Creative Fam? Brandon Washington here, and welcome back to another episode of Uncensored. Yo, so much is currently going on, and first of all, I just want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in for this week's episode. This is our pre-NAB episode. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about in NAB, so we just put it into the chat. Who's going to NAB? I want to know, because I'm going to be there. Our guest today is going to be there. And of course, my amazing co-host, Mr. Jarrell Peak, is also going to be there with me.
Gonna be there.
We're going to be there.
Super hype.
Dude, so much gear is going to be packed into one room. I feel overwhelmed already.
I've been to NAMM 2 or 3 times, but I've always wanted to go to NAB.
It's different.
I feel like there's going to be so much camera, gear, lighting gear, sound gear. Man, I love buying gear, and so I can't wait to be there.
No, this look, NAB is going to be absolutely insane. My biggest thing about NAB, one, is just being able to see everybody. So again, if you are going to be at NAB, let us know in the comment section, so that way we can figure out a way to connect. I want to see you guys while we're there. I want to meet as many people as I possibly can. We also have a little something special.
Is that a little merch? Do I see some merch on the screen?
A little something's happening. No, so we're really excited. If you guys can see here, as you guys know, this live stream and everything that we do is all been put through the CFA, which is our Creative Fam Academy. And we're doing something a little different. Now, this looks like merch that we're selling, but we're actually not selling this merch.
So, Brandon, how did they get this merch?
The only way to actually get this merch is to link up with us at NAB. We're going to have some special ways for you to kind of win and walk away with. This is official CFA flannel. I know y'all see me in the red flannel every single week, but this is official CFA flannel, official Creative Fam content. I even got the new CFA hat right here.
Looking nice.
I like it. Yeah, I'm really digging it. I'm really digging it. So if you guys are going to be at NAB this year, definitely link up, because I want to give you guys some free stuff. So come and see me. As y'all know, we're always giving out free stuff around. That's wild. I feel like that's like always on brand for us now. We're just give away free stuff.
Seriously, 25 days of Christmas. Were any of you guys here for 25 days of Christmas?
Yeah, we gave away a ton of stuff that month.
And then we give away stuff on the live streams.
Yeah, giving away money on the live streams. It's wild. It's wild. But yeah, see us at NAB. We got some free stuff for you guys. We can't wait to see you guys there. As you guys saw in the actual you guys saw in the title and in the thumbnail, today I have a special guest on, and I am super pumped about having him today, because the truth is that me and Brady go way back. We've gotten a chance to meet each other on a few different NAB trips. Actually, the first time we met, I believe, was actually at NAB. And then from there, we got a chance to go to some Sony trips together. And I feel like every time we see each other, it's just like we link up, and it's almost like time never even, like, there was no gap in our time hanging out with each other. But one of the things I like the most about Brady and his content and everything that he does is that he actually takes the element that's my favorite, which a lot of people don't know this, Jarrell. My favorite thing in the filmmaking space is actually lighting. I know it feels like it would be cameras, although cameras is a very close second. I think lighting to me is so important, and it completely changes the way the overall video feels. And so today I'm really excited to have on to the show my good friend and amazing filmmaker, cinematographer, DP, Mr. Brady Bassette. Brady, what is up, bro?
Hello. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for that wonderful intro, making me sound just a little bit better than, we both know the reality of that. But I'm happy to be here, man. I'm happy to be here.
Dude, I was like, first of all, I was already telling you before the show started, and everybody can already see it. You can tell he's an amazing DP, because, I mean, just look at that live stream setup. I mean, we got some nice lighting already happening, practicals and whatnot. I'm like, man, looking at your setup, I definitely need to step up my game a little bit. But that's what I love about filmmaking, is that we always have that opportunity to keep growing and getting better.
It's always fun to play and look back on what we did wrong, actually. So it's always a long ladder to climb, but it's a fun one. Like as you said, lighting is fun. Obviously, if anybody is familiar with me and my channel and my work, it's very lighting heavy. And I love playing around with lights. So it's fun to do it when I'm doing live stream with you.
Yo, dude, speaking of making mistakes, I figured this week I wanted to start the show with probably something that most filmmakers don't want to talk about. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This is the uncensored show. Play on words there. But the reason why we call it the uncensored show is because we talk about stuff that people typically don't talk about on a live stream. Filmmakers normally want to just put their best images, you know, like you go on Instagram and you see like the best frames and it all looks perfect, but like we never post kind of like our mistakes. I wanted to start today's show by talking about some of our mistakes, and I'll go first just to kind of set the tone. So Jarrell doesn't even know this story because it's kind of rough. But yesterday I was on a job, and it was one of those jobs that's like easy. You know how you get those jobs from time to time and you're like, oh, this is going to be simple. It's like maybe 1 or 2 lights. You don't have to really think too hard about it, right? I always find that those are the jobs where I make the biggest mistakes. So I got my lighting package packed up. I got my camera package set up. We're ready to go. We get about 30 minutes down the road and I realize I don't have a light stand. I don't have a single C stand. I don't have a light stand. I left the whole kit.
Better get creative.
Immediately, I start freaking out. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? I'm just going to have to rig this light.
Hollywood.
Bounce it off the wall, something. Bro, the setup we ran, I wish I had a picture. We took a tripod. We took one of our extra tripods. You know how the tripod has the arm on it? We took the tripod, we laid the head flat so the arm was sticking straight up, and I promise you, we took our light and we stuck it right on that tripod arm.
What did you put on there?
It was a 300D, so it wasn't too heavy.
I thought it was
but
a 600.
a softbox wasn't gonna work. So we literally took that light, blasted it at a wall, and we were like, oh yeah, it's more natural. and look, client had no idea. Image looks great. We shot it in ProRes RAW. We're happy with it. But like just so if you have ever been in a situation where you show up on set and you feel like I have made a massive mistake.
There's always the one thing. There's always one thing that you
and it's the easy jobs. It's always the easy job. Travis is in the chat right now. He's saying, oh my God, because he was there. He saw this blunder. And dude, the setup, we were doing everything to try to get this light up, but we got it up and the shot looks great. And at the end of the day,
at least you added on some sort of like stand or something that could pass to somebody who doesn't really know what a light stand is.
Yeah, if they don't know the difference between a tripod and a light stand, we might be okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a good, I feel like there's always fun things. Like I remember that brings me back to one shoot that I did a while ago. And it's not as much of like a scrappy, like quick rig kind of deal, but we were like already over on time. And I just needed a bounce. Like all we had was like an MC at the time. The gaffer had to like run to the truck to get other stuff. We didn't have time for that. So I just like shouted out. I was a DP on this. I was just like, somebody get me something white. I don't care what it is. And one of the, I think it was the grip, came back with just like a decorative white big pillow from the location. And just the whole shot, he was just bouncing it off of the pillow. And it looked fantastic. But it's like one of those things where like, it's fun to get creative and a little bit scrappy, but I mean, with lighting, it gets a little bit tough because there's safety involved, obviously. Right. So I try to avoid it as best as I can. But I mean, like even right now, I've got like, I don't know how I'm going to expose my whole office, but I've got a.
Oh, you're good. Let's take them wide. Let's take them full screen so that way we can see
the
whole
full screen. Now you're going to expose too much. But we'll stop it down. I've got a light right here on my gimbal, just balanced right there because I didn't have a stand to go set it up on. So I'm exposing myself right now. I probably shouldn't have done that. We're going to lose a lot of viewers in this, but you know.
Dude, I think that is the one thing I like about doing this show. And like when we take this content, we cut it up and we share it with people, is that they realize that like the journey is not perfect. Like there are speed bumps every production. Like I tell most people, like the skill set of being a filmmaker, 90% of it is just problem solving. Like
it's just getting crafty with what you got.
Yeah, like you just gotta. I mean, like, because at the end of the day, like most films are like, there's never enough budget, right? Like there's never enough gear, so you're always just kind of like getting like kind of scrappy with what you have and trying to make it work. But one thing that I've noticed from you is that when it comes to like filming your sets, you do a really good job of, even on your YouTube. I've watched a lot of, obviously I'm a huge fan, but I'm also a friend, but I'm a fan. But like I'll watch your breakdowns and your sets look like these like, I mean, they honestly look like they could be like in an episode of Euphoria, like these episodes where you know there are millions of dollars behind it, and you're able to get these same looks. How do you go about trying to get the most out of a shot when you are limited with, whether that's, you know, budget gear or time or just trying to craft that look? What does your process look like when you're saying like, I got to get a shot that looks like $1,000,000, but I ain't got $1,000,000 to spend on it?
I think it's just that I'm trying to prove to myself that I'm legitimate, so I just fake it and make it look like it looks cool. No, that's it. That's a good question. I think a lot of it comes from I do a lot of, I don't want to call it studying, but I like admire a lot of other people's work, and I admire a lot of behind the scenes of a lot of people that are better than myself. So I at least I always say that no matter your skill set, kind of like a rabbit trail, but like I always try to do stuff free with other people or just jump on with other people, or at least low rate. And I do that because regardless of where I am, I'm always going to pick up at least one thing from some sort of shoot. And a lot of the times it's like creative ways to rig things, or like how somebody bounced a light somewhere or shaped a light somewhere, or like how they set up camera or something like that. I feel like that there's always one takeaway, because just like myself, I'm self-taught. I've got my own routines that sticks out to you. Other people have routines that stick out to me and things like that. So I think that for lack of running off on a whole other tangent, I just try to be overly critical, always too critical, until there's like an AD breathing down my neck saying like, dude, we had to get the shot 30 minutes ago. What are you doing? And then I'm like, oh, I guess I should get going now.
So it sounds like it's a mixture of a little bit of imposter syndrome and a lot of practice and studying is what it sounds like from that answer.
I think that there's always this thing where it's like, I ran into a lot, especially in years prior, where things work in theory. I realized that there's a big divide between theory and reality when on a film set. Because especially like I've got a whole light plan, I've got it mapped out, drawn up. I go like the whole extra mile, and then I get there and it doesn't work at all. And I'm like, all right, we're back to the basics and we got to get the shot in 30 minutes. So there's a big divide between theory and reality. So I realized that, I don't know where I was going with that, but you know, something along the lines of just practicing it and realizing what you think might work probably won't work, and then trying to figure out a quick way to problem solve. Like you said in the beginning, getting crafty with it right there on location is so important. Like you could be as much of a perfectionist as you can be on paper, but when it gets to a film set, what really matters to me, most of it, or a lot of it at least, is just getting crafty and like being able to improvise and work fast when things go wrong. Not if, because they will. So when.
You know, and I think that's actually really important, because I agree with you. There is something like, I feel like every film set does have like that one thing, and like, sure, you can plan all day long, but like having the skill set, or at least the mental fortitude to be like, all right, in the event that something goes wrong, I do have basics to fall back onto, I think is super important. But the only way to have those basics that you can fall back onto is to practice those skill sets. And so you even saying that someone at your status, who, you know, you're professional DP, you're professional gaffer, like you're working in the industry, you're making a living doing this, you're also going out of your way to teach it online for others as well. But like even someone like you at your level realizes like, hey, it's okay to still go shoot some stuff for free, because for me, it's not just about like, oh, I'm shooting it for free, I'm not getting paid, but you feel like you're almost learning from the education that happens along the process, and how that will then ultimately make you better at your craft later.
We actually have a comment for Brady. It's crazy to hear Brady say he has imposter syndrome, because I keep telling my husband that when I do something as good as Brady, I will stop having imposter syndrome.
That's what you think. And then you get better, and then you see other people, and then you still have imposter syndrome, or at least for me. And it's funny because there's this, I guess, to backtrack on a story that it should help me more, but it still doesn't. It's just a story I tell to other people and hope to forward on this advice. But there's this guy that I really look up to, and he's established, I think he's in the Canadian Society of Cinematographers, I forget what it's called, but he's very up there, very beautiful work. Been doing this for like 20 years, and I was like, dude, this guy's so like he is him, he's it. And I was talking to him one night, and he's the same thing. He's like, yeah, I'm like, I don't know why you're looking to me for advice. There's these people who like these are the real good guys, and I'm like, this never is gonna end, is it? I'm just chasing this tail forever, aren't I? So I think that it's always, but I mean, it's a sign of getting better. I think that like you always look. It's kind of the thing that people say, like you surround yourself with the 5, or you are the product of the 5 people you surround yourself. So if you're always looking up to other people, immediately mentally you're in a totally different ball game, rather than if you're just like, oh, I'm better than all these other people. Fantastic. It's great to pat yourself on the back every now and then, but if you're only looking backwards, I think that it's not going to push you forward and make you realize that you could be better. Yeah. Or maybe I'm just overly critical, and that's just, my red flag.
So I'll be a little vulnerable here. Like about a year ago, I went to some therapy because I was dealing with some stuff, and one of the big elements I had was imposter syndrome. Like it was huge. I was like, because it was like almost like crippling me, because I was like, I don't know if I should, like, it would everything, like in business and in YouTube and in filmmaking. And one thing, and this may help anybody out there who has this. Now, I'm not gonna say I've solved it, because I definitely haven't. But at least what my therapist was telling me was that like sometimes imposter syndrome can actually be a little bit of a superpower, because it's that feeling of not being good enough that actually pushes you to work harder, which makes you then good enough. But because you never fully feel like you're still good enough, you keep pushing yourself and going further and further. And typically those who are like, I'm him, I got it, blah, 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 they are the ones that typically end up falling off, because like once you feel like you've achieved everything you wanted to achieve, you got nowhere else to go. So I'm not going to say I've overcome imposter syndrome at all, but I will say that if you do feel it, one, it's normal, but then two, it kind of works in our favor, I think, sometimes, because Lord knows, I definitely don't feel like I'm watching your setup right now, and I'm like, I need more blue light back here. Right.
That's so funny. I was just looking up at the screen. I'm like, should I like stop down and bring my key up a little bit more? And I'm like, it's a live stream. I don't need to...
Dude, watching you tweet here.
Somebody's gonna call me out on this right now. Turn on a false color, and then you'll
dude, like that's I think that's the sign of a professional. A professional never stops trying to learn and get better. Brandon had a comment. I want to pull that up.
Oh, yes.
So he says, like, imposter syndrome is a sign of growth. There's always going to be the next level you feel like you can't reach, but as soon as you do, it returns and the cycle continues. And I believe that. I legitimately believe that, but I don't think it should be something that's like crippling. But I do think that like it's okay. And like anyone who's watching this right now, I just want to, before we move on to the next question, just want to say, like, if you feel like you have imposter syndrome, don't worry about it. Like, it's absolutely normal. And as Brady has said, like, I have honestly had like the opportunity to speak with some people who like I look up to, and like, just like Brady say, like that dude is him. Like, he's making Hollywood movies and he's telling me he has imposter syndrome. It just lets me know like I'm not alone in that feeling. Unfortunately, it obviously means that even at the higher levels, it doesn't 100% go away. But I mean, it still means that you are able to keep moving forward. So
I wish there was like a software update that every time you improve a little bit more, you can like take a step back and actually like realize that, instead of just being stuck in this like quicksand of imposter syndrome.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. So speaking of having sort of imposter syndrome and like figuring out your craft, I feel like you have a very unique style. Like, and like, I feel like that comes from that nonstop pursuit of like trying to get better with every project you do. And like I mean, like immediately, if I hop on YouTube and I watch, like, if you just play me some random clips, I feel like you're one of those people who I can like look at it and be like, oh, that's kind of got a Brady style to it. And like, I've even seen other filmmakers replicate your style and they don't give you credit. And I'm like, I bet you if I go look at that person's followings list, Brady is there, because I can see the influence there. So like, how did you come about coming up with this style? I know you said you kind of like pull things from different creators, but how do you decide what you want to stick? Because I feel like we all do that. Like, we all watch a lot of creators and we see influences that we like, but there's something about our own internal creativity that lets certain things actually stick and become a part of our style. What for you make something stick and make it a part of your style?
That's a good question. Let me think on that. I really like that question, actually. I haven't gotten asked that. And it's funny because I get that comment a lot about like, this has your look, or this is a Brady style or whatever. And I'm just doing what I think looks best. I'm trying to, replicate something else, or I'm achieving somebody else's look, which I guess is kind of where it comes from. And I don't know if you guys have read it. I've had like 55,000 people tell me to read Steal Like an Artist, and I finally actually did. So yeah. I don't know if anybody watching it or if you or read it, but it's really like this. In a nutshell, it's like steal. It's okay to steal in a sense of doing so like an artist, which I'm just reiterating the title as I'm developing what I'm trying to say. But it's like taking the people that you like, the 5 people that you admire, and you're taking aspects of all of that. So different people, like say Greg Fraser, beautiful work. It speaks for himself. Roger Deakins, whatever. All of these top people, I might take something from all of them and kind of create it into my own work. And I'm not doing it with a mindset of like, how can I make my style? I think it's naturally like I've got a vision that I want to try to get to, and I'm just going to try my best to implement things that I've seen from all of these different people that all kind of develop into a new people's style, which is my own. So I don't know if that really makes sense, but I think that it's like I'm not doing it intentionally of like, this is my style. It's more of like, this is what I know, whether it's just a familiar thing and like a repeating habits, or like I just know what I am trying to get. But I guess it's that everybody I guess does have their own style, whether it's either art or sports or whatever. Like in baseball, I don't know why it just came to mind, like Kevin Youkilis always had his like hand up on the bat. If you guys are baseball watchers, everybody's got their own thing that works for them. And I guess that the way that I choose to either shoot or light, or the way that I shoot is to light pretty heavily, I think that's just developed to something that I really enjoy doing.
So is there ever a time where you feel like, because I know you do this professionally, and so you get hired out, and so I always find it to be a very unique relationship between directors and or clients and the DP, where you obviously as the creative and the DP who's developed this style, this Brady style, but you get hired out to do a job where like your style doesn't 100% match to the vision of the director. Is that something that you find to be challenging, or do you feel like you've gotten to a place to where you're really getting hired more so because you have this style and it is supposed to be a part of the body of work?
Mm-hmm. I think it's a balance, because it's inevitable. Director's boss man, so they're always going to have the last kind of final call. But the director's going to pick a DP based off of their style. So as you show your reel and develop your reel, director's going to be like, I want that. That's why I'm hiring you on. But there's also, say you bring a client into the picture. Now there's a client telling the director that they want something, and the director's trying to afford it to the DP. So it does happen where my vision doesn't align with either the director's vision or the director's vision. And that's something where you kind of work to find a middle ground. I'm going to push back. I'm always going to push back to get what I want. But sometimes it's like kind of meeting in the middle of like, oh, well, you want haze, or I want haze. You don't want haze. What if we throw like lens diffusion on and it makes it look a little bit better? There's a compromise. And I had that on a film that I did, don't tell me it was almost 2 years ago, but it might have been, where they wanted it very clean, very like on sticks, locked off shots, very kind of simple in a way, which works for the director's vision. But me having that style that I do, I've got like a dirtier style, or more like handheld, or something more dynamic. So there were a few shots where I was like, I really think that story-wise, this conveys what we're trying to say a little bit better. And explaining it, instead of just saying like, this is what I want to do, this will look pretty cool. It's more so like me trying to be cautious of the final product. If it's a film where I'm conveying emotion, I want to convey that emotion to the best of my abilities, whether it's with lighting or with camera movement or whatever it is. So just talking with the director, seeing like what the end goal is instead of like what the image is supposed to look like, and then just kind of going down the ladder from there.
I feel like what I like about your answer there is like, even though you do have your own style, it feels like your feedback to the director is still story driven, which is like, you know, you're not just saying, I want this because this is Brady's style, but you're also like sort of influencing and sort of helping the director in a way of saying like this style that I've, you know, that I've been able to create myself, it allows me to help you tell your story better, which
Mm-hmm.
I think is really interesting. But then also that big word that you said, which is like a big one in the world of filmmaking, which is collaboration. You know, being a filmmaker is a massive collaborative, you know, feat. Like I think the thing that always blows me away when I go to like to the movie theaters, like to the cinema, is how many names are scrolling at the end.
It's
Like
insane.
how many people touched this project that I just consumed in, you know, 2.5 hours. You know what I mean? Like how many lives, how many families, how many people, and that collaborative nature of filmmaking is kind of a basic necessity because there's so many different pieces going on. So as someone who like yourself, you DP, I know you grip, obviously you cam operate, you direct some of your own projects and you do your own projects, especially like on YouTube and stuff.
Mhm.
When you look at all the roads of filmmaking and like all the different roles that have to be handled and how they all work together, which one do you think like Brady feels most at home in? Because I know as a filmmaker, a lot of times you kind of like, especially when you're just getting started off, you take the job you can take. You know, you get
Yeah.
hired as a first AC. Hey, you know, I can get focused, right? You get hired as a DP, you're maybe extremely happy, or if you just got hired as a grip, then you're like, hey, look, I'll move whatever you want. So
Mhm.
like, where do you feel is like home when you're like, "Oh, if I get hired for this, I'm in my happy place."
I definitely, I know I'm a DP, and I'm happy there. Directing, yes, you mentioned I do some of my projects. I do that sparingly sometimes when I've just got a concept that I just want to be my baby. But I know at the end of the day, I'm not a director. A project that we were just talking about before the call that I took on, I was essentially like directing it or producing it, but I'm
Mhm.
not good at those roles. I know my role is strong as a DP. So yes, I was overseeing everything, but I hired out a producer and I hired out a director to make that happen because when it comes to the logistics and what is actually needed out of, say, a director role, I'm not good at that. And I know that. I think it's important to know your weaknesses and know your strengths. And my strength is definitely being a DP. I love working with the director and having that collaborative nature. But at the end of the day, the director comes to me and is like, this is what I want. Let's get creative with it. Rather than coming with a clean canvas, that's where I'm a little bit, I know it's a little bit more of a weak point to me to just like have all of the options on the table and just do something. That's really difficult. So where I'm most comfortable is definitely DP. Not to mention, I love lighting department. Gaffing is always a blast. It's always fun. I love making a DP happy. I hate making a DP sad when it comes to that. But it's with that is very physically tolling, and maybe that's why I don't always love gaffing. I think that there's two totally different like personas that I put on when I'm either in G&E or in DP and camera department because like when I'm in DP, I'm like, oh yeah, take my camera, take that, whatever. And when I'm in G&E, I'm just like that rugged old grip. And I'm just like getting dirty. I've got the gloves on. I'm just sitting on the back of the gate and I'm just like waiting for like heavy things to be moved. And it's so funny that like, I don't know, just a fun fact, I guess, that I guess I'm bipolar when it comes to my on set persona.
Hey, that's okay. I think sometimes it's fun to jump between different roles. You know, I have a project that we're working on. I don't know how much I can give away on it, but we're working on this really cool project. And initially, I was hired as the director, and I just realized that I didn't have the time to give the project what it needed.
Uh-huh.
And so I was like, "Hey, maybe you actually hire a different director, and then I'll just come on as the DP of the
Yeah.
project. You can still get my, you know, because they really it's more of a visual based project. We're shooting like on an LED wall and stuff." And I was like, I can still DP it and get you the look that you want, but I don't have time to direct this thing. We need to
Yeah.
kind of hand this over." And like I think sometimes it's important to really know not only where you strive, but like from project to project, you might strive differently, you know, in a
Yeah.
different position and
And it's
being able
important to
to
admit
like
that too. Like
Yeah.
I think it's really important to put pride aside for the sake of the project, because it's so easy, especially in the early days. And like still in my nature, it's like, I got to prove to the world that I'm actually good and I can do the things. But it's like you said, you go watch, if you like Dune 2, I was just watching it a week or two ago, and there's like 30 million names that scroll across.
Yes.
If
Absolutely.
it was just one person doing it, that Dune 2 would not look like Dune 2.
No.
So it's important to just admit, like, I know my weaknesses, I know where I'm great, and then put everything into where you're great, and then bring on more people for where you're weak.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, you have a better product that's done. And then when you go to show that off, like no one cares if Dune 2, like if Dune 2 looks like crap, but it was shot by one guy, they're gonna be like, yeah, you didn't do a good job. But like if you're a smaller, cog in a bigger machine, but you get a Dune 2 out of it, it's like, yeah, I worked on Dune 2. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
you guys
And it's
crushed
like, it's funny because all these essential roles that we talk about, whether like a gaffer or a cinematographer or a director, these are all, especially once you get to big Hollywood sets or bigger projects, these are just department heads.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, typically they don't do any like heavy lifting, or they don't do much of the actual work. They're just in charge of that department. And then there are tons of people that funnel under that where they delegate all the work to. So that's always helpful, like interesting to know. It's like, oh, a gaffer in the like big Hollywood sets, they don't touch a stand. They're not doing anything. And I'm like, that kind of sounds nice. Maybe I could be a gaffer. But it's really like when I learned that, I was like, oh, so like it's not just one person for all. It's more so like that lead person is just calling the shots. And they just have the brains. And that's all they're not all they're good for, because the brains are the most important thing. But it's like they're not doing it all. They're delegating the tasks.
That's why one of the things I always tell people is like really understand the logic and like the mindset behind some of these things, because I get it on YouTube, and like a lot of the people, especially people who consume this show and even like the industry, that even the stuff that I do is a much smaller scale. We're not Hollywood, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's still good to know what all these different roles are and how they interact on a set. So that way, as you continue to progress in your journey, you can know what you need to do. And you can know how the roles get broken out. And if you had, the ability to have 5 people on your team, or 1 person on your team, or 10 people on your team, you would know how to delegate those tasks.
Exactly.
But speaking of being a DP, we put out a poll at the very beginning of this, at the very beginning of the call, to ask people what was their favorite lighting brand. Now, I'm going to be very transparent. I'm going to tell you guys how this normally works when you get on set. There's probably a lot of different brands that get used when you're on set. It's normally like, what package can we get our hands on? But we know you have an affinity to a certain brand. And so we want to ask you, what has been one of your favorite lights? What's been one of the most versatile lights that you've been able to use on set? And then we're going to see how that aligns with the poll today.
Good question. Are we going like specific, like one product, or like a broad world of light?
I'd love to hear your take on it regardless.
I think that, see, I'm getting technical. I'm like, is this like day, nighttime? Where are we shooting?
See,
It's gotta be everything. It's gotta be it all.
If you don't understand the value of even just that statement right there, that lets you know that he's a DP who's thinking ahead of time, because he's like, everything changes depending.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, do we need power? Okay, so I'll kind of branch off, and I'm gonna be annoying and kind of not answer your question by answering your question.
Love it.
I think that when I ask that question, I'm thinking ahead. I'm going like, is it a day interior or day or night interior, whatever, figuring out my options. So with that being said, if it's day interior, I would do something bright and hot that I can modify like a bunch of times, like a 1200D. Great, but that's not my go-to light that I'm going to pull out. And that's aperture. I like aperture. Aperture is not the be-all, end-all. I think that it's just something that is tried and true. I've worked with a lot of lights that are just finicky and waste time, that are just like the lower end of the spectrum or newer into the industry. And those little seconds where you're finicking with things or things go wrong, there's literally no time for on a film set. People get mad and like, why isn't it happening in 3 seconds? So that's something that I think that aperture is good and tried and true and reliable on, which is completely irrelevant to my answer. I would say if I were to take one light, it's going to be probably like an Aperture 600C. And reason being is that being a point source, you can modify it a million different ways. You can get a really hard sunlight look. You can get a really beautiful soft key light that's going through a huge soft source. But additionally, on top of that, you've got more versatility of like, if your light doesn't feel enough of like sunset, you can, it's a bicolor and a colored light. So there's versatility in that direction as well. Not only can you get like warm, nice sunset, but you can get like a warm tungsten light like this, or go full color like the blue that's back there. There's a lot of options. So if I'm going to take like one light out of the kit, out of the truck, whatever, for most purposes, it would probably be that.
All right. Well, that was actually just a trick question because you made a whole video explaining that exact same topic. I just wanted to
see that I mentioned.
that was just a trick. I just wanted to see if he's telling the truth in these YouTube videos. Y'all know this is uncensored, so
okay, listen, let me justify it. It was, the video was a 300C and I said a 600C. Same thing, just backs me up with a little more output. Price difference is totally different. I think the answer is the same, and I don't want to hear it. Move on.
Hey, look, his numbers are different, y'all. His numbers are different. No, I'm just kidding. No, and I think the big point he's gone and he left. No, I think what I liked about your answer, even in that video, 300C or 600C, was just finding something that's versatile. And I think when it comes to lighting, I think people pick up cameras with the idea of versatility, but like when it comes to some of the other elements like audio and lighting, the versatility is not always there when you're first getting started. Like you find something because you watched one YouTube video and you're like, oh, that's the end all be all. I need tubes. And it's like, well, tubes are not really that versatile. Yeah. Or you're like, oh, I'm going to get this one really nice matte light or something like that. Or I'm going to get a little LED panel. And it's like, when you're just getting started, there is a lot of versatility in lighting as well. And so picking out pieces of gear that can allow you to be more versatile, in my opinion, actually help you out a lot. So that's just my opinion. Brady walked away. I'm sorry, dude. I totally got you.
It was killing me. It looked so bad. It was just driving me crazy. Yeah.
Look, that's a DP. He's like, look, this over. I don't even want to look at the replay.
The sun's coming out. It's hitting this. It's way too, like, I just don't. I can't stand for it. I'm sorry. Move on. I'm not wasting any more time.
This is the DP. All right. So we asked you guys in the chat, what was your favorite lighting brand? And I think we got a unique response. So our options were, and I don't have it in front of me, so I'm going to look at Jarrell and hope that I'm getting these right. So we had Aperture, we had Godox, we had Nanlite, and we had Ari. And to no surprise, I think Ari took, or I'm sorry, that is the surprise. Number one was actually Aperture. Is that correct?
That is correct. 67%.
Aperture took number one, which I think
their YouTube game is strong.
Their YouTube game is strong. And we also saw that they're going to be releasing some new stuff next week, or I guess it came out already, but we'll get a chance to see it at NAB. So I'm really, really excited about that. Any thoughts? Have you seen?
He's looking for secrets. Brandon's fishing for secrets.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking if I talk now, he won't keep talking. So like, what do you got?
No, you're good. All right. Go ahead.
It's really, I was kind of expecting that because I think that Aperture is the one company that's broken into the industry and now given Ari a run for its money. Or if anything, I've seen some things about Aperture being the industry standard as far as lights, subjectively, of course. But on that lower side of output, Aperture kind of being the go-to, which doesn't surprise me. I think I really like working with the ecosystem, but it's not to say that it's the only light that you need.
Yeah, I feel like, in my opinion, when it just comes to lights, you're right. I think Aperture definitely is kind of like running the industry a lot with those lower outputs. And I think that's where I'm excited to see what Aperture continues to do with the higher output lights. But at the end of the day, that's why I want to go to NAB, because you get a chance to see them all underneath one roof. And you can really look at them side by side and start really asking those in-depth questions. And so I want you guys in the chat, let us know what questions you want us to get answers from at NAB. So that way next week when I do the show, I'll be able to answer as many of those questions as I can. So put those in the chat. While you guys are doing that, Jarrell doing what he does every single week. He has a special game set up for us today. And I don't really know exactly what's going on. He's just told me that my lighting skills will be put to the test, which is terrifying because Brady's here, which means I'm going to lose. I am going to lose. But he says that he believes this game is going to set us up for Brady to give us a lot of insight when it comes to lighting. And so, Jarrell, I'll let it kick over to you, and you can kind of explain what we got going on for today.
Welcome, everybody. We got a brand new game for you. We're actually going to roll the intro first.
We got a bougie intro?
We got a bougie intro. Thanks to Travis.
Let's run it.
All righty. This is the way it's going to work. I went to Brady Bassette's YouTube channel and pulled 3 videos. I went to Brandon Washington's YouTube channel and pulled 3 videos. I pulled out a 10-second clip from the A roll of that video or the B roll. And basically what's going to happen, Brady, is I'm going to play it. And then you're going to break down the lighting setup as best as you can. And the more specific you are and the more correct you are will depend if you win the round. So okay. Brandon will also see Brady's video, and he will try to break down the lighting setup, trying to be as specific as he can be.
Okay.
And so you can be general. You can be like, there's a light in the corner.
That's basically going to be my answers. Look, Brady has some immaculate setups.
Yes.
I feel like my setups are going to be very basic.
Can't always win, Brandon. Can't always win.
I think the game are set up for me not to win.
No, I don't think that's true because listen, I'm going to be hypercritical, and I think that if you've got a very simple setup, I might be way off and just try to like come up with something way too sophisticated. So I think that it's an even battle here.
All right.
So this is what we're going to do. All right. You guys are going to play rock, paper, scissors to see who goes first.
Oh, I think, okay.
You guys ready?
Is there
on screen?
All right, here we go.
We
One,
go
two,
on
three,
shoot.
Shoot.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, shoot. Here we go.
Rock,
1,
paper,
2, 3,
scissors, shoot.
Oh,
do you have? Is that scissors?
I got scissors. I had scissors.
I got rock. All right, Brady, you're first.
All right, Brady, you're first. All right, 10 seconds. Oh, and we're not going to replay the clip, so you're just going to have to. You're going to have to guess the lighting setup based off of what you see. You ready?
Oh, he's got to bring that monitoring close. All right, let's run it. That was 10 seconds?
That's when you're having fun, baby.
That's not 10 seconds.
This is a game.
What music is that?
Less than 10 seconds.
What was that music?
Just some elevator music.
Good night.
All right, Brady, your best guess of the lighting setup. And be as specific as possible.
All right, so I know that there's that hot source that was outside. I'm going to say like a 600-watt daylight, something outside with a reflector dish shining in the window. There's a big soft source coming from the window side. I would argue that it could almost be natural light, but it looked a little sourcey to the point where I'm going to say, I don't know, you're putting something through either big softbox or just like a 6x6 silk or something like that. Was it as simple as that?
God, he's pretty good.
Dude, he's so good.
So good.
He's so good, bro.
What was it? Can I see it again now that I locked in my hand?
I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna lose. Oh my gosh. Okay, so yeah, we actually had a 1200 shooting through the window through a reflector dish. And then on the fill side, we had a 300. I can't remember what the company light was, but it was bouncing. So it wasn't, instead of it being a silk, it was a bounce to fill in the other side. And the rest of it was natural light.
Okay.
Good night.
So, Brandon, give him a score and be objective.
Be objective on a scale of 1 to 10. Honestly, I'm going to give him like a solid 8.
Okay.
That was
I'll take that.
Solid 8.
Gosh.
Right. I am going to make this full screen for you.
Okay, please.
And for you, Brady. Because out of the
Brady,
what you saw a very little window.
Look, I need as much help as I can get, okay?
All right, let's try
give him double the time.
Yeah, I get a chance to see it twice.
Oh, is that gonna work? I don't even
I'll
know.
determine that when I see
You
it.
got so many screens. Okay. All right, we're gonna try it again. All right, ready? Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Hopefully this works.
All
No,
right.
I don't know if that's gonna work. You're gonna have the same thing he had.
Whatever. Let it run. Oh shoot! I got 2 shots. That's not even fair.
Yeah. Okay. Which one? Which shot is he breaking down?
You can pick. You can pick.
All right, I'm gonna do the first one, just because I think I have
Question.
a rough idea. Yes.
On everything, have you watched this video?
No.
What? No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
He's offended.
I have not. I have not seen this video.
I've seen it, Brady.
Thank you.
Well, of course you have. You pulled the clip. I think it looks like a top-down source of some type. I'm gonna guess it is a I'm guessing all your lights are aperture lights because I know you make a lot of aperture videos. So I'm just gonna immediately say it's some type of aperture or Amaran light in the ceiling. And then in the back, I think I saw like an MC underneath the cabinet. And I think I'm guessing it's that simple.
Chat, what do you guys think?
I'm probably
Which shot are we referring to?
the first one,
The
wide
wide.
shot.
The wide.
Yeah, so I'm going wide was like an Amaran flex light or something like that in the ceiling. You probably just gaff taped it to the ceiling or something for a video. And then underneath the cabinet was like one of those little square MC lights just to be like a practical under cabinet lighting.
Are we waiting
All
on
right,
chat?
Brady.
We can dive in and
Break
give
it.
a rating.
Break it.
Break it down for
Break
me.
it down for us,
How
Brady.
far off was I?
You were there. I would give it a. Let me make sure. I
Well,
did what I did. Right.
Tell
I
us
think
the
I-
breakdown first. Tell us the breakdown and then give a score.
Okay. We did have an Amaran F22 that was overhead. We moved that
Wow.
out. It was a real film set, so I had to be safe. We had that out on a Avenger arm, and on that we had the lantern with skirts on it to keep it isolated just over that island. And that was our key. It was our main source. We did have some MCs back there. There were 2 of them on the vanity kind of thing. One of them just back in the corner, one of them under, how you saw. But it doesn't stop there, ladies and gentlemen. We had on camera right on I guess the mom that was standing over there on the edge. We had an aperture MC, and we just bounced that off of some scrap muslin that was there, just into that as nice return. That
Is
might
there
have.
any way to pull it up while he's breaking it
Yes,
down?
sure. Maybe.
Yeah, I got a whole
There.
video on this one.
I know. I'm getting the cliff notes.
There you
Yeah,
go.
see, this helps. Okay. Yeah, so there was those 2 MCs. There was that overhead source. I want to say we had negative fill on frame left, just to add a little bit more contrast, even though it's already pretty dark. And then you can see just a little bit of fill. You can almost see it in the wood on this shelf, the front side of the wood, and the reflection of the wine glass gives everything away. You can see that big vertical source that's there is an MC that was just shining into like a 4x4, just like scrap muslin, just as a bounce, just to give return. Because before she went here, she was actually standing up against where her wine glass was. So it almost just gave her a little bit of light as she was standing in the darkness there. But that was it.
I love how he said the wine glass gave it away. And I'm like looking for the wine glass in the picture. And I finally saw it and I'm like, I don't know.
I don't think they gave anything away,
I don't
bro.
know.
See, it's funny. If you ever want to break things down, always watch. You'll always see reflections. And if you're watching a show, chances are, at least on a close, you can look into somebody's eyes and almost see the setup and just get reassurance on it.
I have done that before.
That's great.
I will say I've been able to see like a lot of sets all light from the ceiling, and that's how I learned that was just seeing it in people's eyes. And then you can also see like bounces and grids and stuff like that in people's eyes.
All right, Brady, give Brandon a score.
Be kind.
No, I'll be fine. I want to give it like a 6.8 because you did get everything except for. No, I'll give him a 7.3 because you got everything except for the MC.
What are these numbers? I'm gonna lose
Chat,
this
what do you
game by
think?
0.3.
Chat, what do you
Got it.
think? Chat, do you think? I as an impartial person, I do think Brady was a little bit closer. So
Yeah.
first round goes to Brady. Second round, Brandon.
All right.
Wait a minute.
Brady.
Yeah,
goes
you
first.
go. Yeah. Wait a minute.
He's
Oh,
already.
wait,
Is this predetermined?
Brady
Is
went
the second,
first. Yeah,
is the
perfect,
second
perfect.
round already going to Brandon?
Yes, I win. I win everything.
Okay.
I always win. So now I'm confused. Okay, Brady, your clip. All right, perfect. We're gonna do this one.
I'm trying to remember what was my life.
Dude, I was totally. I only got the first half of that too, which scares me even more. I was not ready. I didn't even get countdown or an intro or anything.
You can give him another. We'll give him another run.
You wanna say it again?
Yeah, I'll give him another run.
Oh, so kind.
I'll give Brandon
Even being down point
I gotta help him out.
0.7.
I need to help Brady out. He needs assistance.
All right.
This is the alley oop.
Make sure you're looking.
By the way.
Goes quick.
There's no way he did this with two lights. I know we've got this very high source, soft source. This one's stumping a lot more. You didn't stick a light in the frame that I could see.
Did I say it was two lights?
No, but he's
Yeah.
initially thinking that it was two
Okay.
lights.
Well, I'll help you out. It's not two lights. I can
Yeah.
use more than two lights at one time.
He's
Brady.
so kind. Brandon's like just giving
No, I just
stuff
feel.
away.
I'm just like I can use more than two lights. I just want chat to know I do know how to use more than two lights on a
This
set.
is where the imposter syndrome comes through, as we were talking about before. He needs to tell everybody that. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to start and say that this is beautiful and also stumping. Second round's tough here, ladies and gents. Soft source was fluorescent-ish. I would almost want to say that you just had this as like a HSI kind of green, fluorescent green. Maybe you're using an aperture with a gel mode. Soft source above, maybe an Amaran. I'm going to go with an Amaran F22C. I know it's wrong. It was too soft, but we're just going to lock it in. You saw, or you had something tungsten that was in the back. Did you? It could have been a tungsten tube. Geez, this is just deteriorating as I say it. A tungsten tube over there. Jeez. Who found this shot and why'd you pick it? Do this in the third round. Get me warmed up or something.
You know what's so funny about this shot? I actually went like inner Brady for this shot. Like that was part of the inspiration.
Brady.
I was like, oh, how would Brady do something like this with my gear? Because I don't have all the same stuff that he has.
Damn, this is tough.
Brady, what would you do?
I would do that. It was beautiful. You did it. There's that top soft source that was fluorescent. You used the green HSI. You had a tungsten pop over in the corner. And then I want to say you had one more front source that was cyan or the same fluorescent, augmenting it, wrapping it around from the front to get a little bit more fill. And hey, let's go crazy. You had another tungsten practical that was back there that I probably didn't see, but I'm just going to say that's what I would do, just to add a little bit more depth on frame right. Locking it in. What's the damage?
All right, we gotta pull it up because I gotta see if I can remember. Yeah. So, oh, it's actually funny. You can kind of see it. So in the bottom, this is just shows you. This was us playing around. Like I said, going inner Brady here. But yes, we had tubes that we had up onto the ceiling that we had in a fluorescent green HSI. So that is how we got there to get the green spill kind of in the room. And then in the back, we did have a tungsten light, and that was for some practicals that were in a different shot that you can't see, but it would tie together into the edit. But that actual tungsten color is coming from a Nova that is splashing off the walls just so we could get that Joker aesthetic. I was kind of going with that like green and tungsten kind of Joker vibe. And then over top where you thought it was F22s, but you said it was too soft. You're right. It was too soft. And that was because it was a 300D going through a softbox that we had boomed overhead over top of the bike. And that's how we get that like nice soft kind of like fill in light. But yeah, dude, you're really good at this. I'm really surprised that you were able to see all
5
that
second clip
in 5 seconds. Yeah.
All righty, grade him low.
I'm like, damn it, I'm so stupid. I should have gotten that.
Gee, all right.
Hey, I want to say this looks gorgeous.
Oh, dude, thank you. I'm gonna give him a 2. No, just kidding.
Just so I can win the game.
I need a chance. No, I think you did really good. It's hard because the last one you were like so spot on. So I think I'm gonna give this one a 7 since the last one was an 8. But geez, man, you are really good. It's so surprising that you're able to break all that down so quickly.
I feel like if he had a screen grab, he would have like probably gotten so much closer.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
And
even
time
I'm
to
looking
study.
at this and it's a little more contrasty than how it really looks because of the live stream. But man, you absolutely crushed it.
Well,
All righty.
thank you.
So you have
Beautiful.
15.
Oh, yeah, sorry. That's some Jazz, actually, his comment. Fantastic. I totally missed it. There's also haze in this shot. I totally forgot about that. He says, how much haze is in that shot, though? That is absolutely right.
Not
Jazz, you absolutely crushed it. Haze is what was the
Did Brady say not enough?
he said
Yeah.
not enough haze. But I think that's what when you were asking about like how the light kind of wrapped around, I think the haze is what helped with that a lot.
Haze helps that
But-
all the time. So
Jazz,
he's going to go back. He's
fantastic.
going to give me 6.8 because I forgot Haze.
Yeah, so now it's a 6.5 because you didn't say haze.
I can't do math like that. 14.5.
Just flip the reciprocal and the carry it over.
Yeah.
The what? We'll say you have an even 15 points.
Yeah, A squared
Yeah,
plus
sounds-
B squared.
Sounds
Okay.
right.
Jazz, see you at NAB for sure. Dude,
Jazz, we'll see you there.
we can't wait to see you. I'll bring more shots just for you to break down.
Brandon, this is the last one. You have it.
3 seconds.
Oh, cool. Hey, Brandon, this is the last one.
Okay.
So the ball is in your court
Okay.
to win or to lose.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna
You ready?
crush it. Yeah. Let's see. God. What is flickering in the background? Hold on.
It made it real.
Do you
dark.
want to
Dude,
do you want to, since you gave him a replay, do you want your replay?
Can I
Yes,
get a
you get to
actually
replay.
instead of a replay, can I just get a freeze frame for 20 seconds?
That wouldn't be fair.
I'm
Why is
over
that
here
fair?
going to my video to see how I broke that down.
What's
Alrighty.
crazy is I remember this video, but this is an older video.
Yes.
Oh, this is real.
I remember this video, and that's what it's like also stumping me because I'm like, what was out?
You ready?
No,
You're not ready to see it again?
I don't know. Okay, go ahead.
You're stalling.
I'm trying to look like there's some spotlight hitting his face. There's crap.
Yours to lose.
So there's something being very controlled hitting his face. Because like the bottom half of his face is in shadow, but like where his eyes were was good, which makes me think it was like a spotlight with like the little things in it. I don't know grip gear. I don't DP like this. Through the window in the back was another light that had an effect on it. It looked like it was like flickering of some sort, which makes me think it was like an aperture light with an effect turned on. And then there was the practical tungsten light that was right there. Saw that. So y'all can't see. Drill just looking at me like I'm an idiot. So it makes me feel like I'm
you're good.
so far off.
Oh no.
And then on his last shoot, he was talking about how he was using a negative fill. So I'm like, I don't know. There's probably like flags and negative fill all over the place because it was dark. It was like mad dark. And then I'm gonna say he applied his LUT to it.
Getting real specific.
He applied a LUT to it. One of his custom Brady Bassette LUTs. You
Now
definitely go check
available?
it out. Now available. Link in description. No affiliate links given. Dude, I have no idea. I'm gonna lose this so bad. I don't know what I've said, but that's my guess.
How'd
How'd I do?
No,
How'd I do, Brady?
I'm watching the video. Give me a second.
I didn't know that was an option. I got a laptop right here. I would have pulled up the video. I didn't know watching videos was an option. Yo,
Okay,
Brady,
okay.
even on. I think I win by default because he's officially gone rogue. He pulled up the video on YouTube.
I forgot. All right. This is like over 2 years old. All right. All right.
deep
I
dived.
think. All right. We're good. We're good. We got it.
All right, pull it up. Let's see. Let's break this thing down.
All right.
Okay, so there we go. I got it. I knew this. You were I'm gonna say you were right. So we got that soft controlled source, and I think I heard everything you said. And if I'm wrong, you get the points anyway. Soft controlled source, that key on me was a very. It was. Why the hell did I make this so dark? Hey, listen, I'm gonna just say it was the stream, but it's not the stream because I got the YouTube video right above it. I'm sorry. I guess I was going through something at this point. That's crazy. Soft controlled source. It was a 300D. I found out 300D. I used with an orange gel. I guess this is before I owned any bicolor lights. So I had that with a light dome with a grid on it. So that's just going straight on my face. I think you can actually see the reflection, whatever is reflecting down on the table there. That's looks like the reflection of a grid. And then in there's a practical bulb, but I think it was just a real household lamp. I think I just dimmed it like with a dimmer. I think my mom already had one on a dimmer. I was living at my parents' house. Shout out mom. She's probably on the stream. And then we got through that window. I don't know why it was flickering because it might have been, it might not have been. But 600D that was out there through like a Fresnel, like a spotlight through the window, and you can see that lighting up the shears, and also just a little twinkle on that back wall that you see, just a little texture there for fun. And then our last light was, it's going to sound very contradicting, to get some room tone in this completely dark shot. I had a Nova that was an Aperture Nova 300 that had barn doors shooting straight at the ceiling, and you can see it's given a little to the edge of the chairs, on a little bit of my skin, on the paper that's on the countertop there. You can see that it's giving some sort of level, just room tone as in bringing up ambience and exposure in the room, just so it's not completely black, which is a very contradicting statement. But that's the setup. So I think I'm giving it an 8.1.
What?
Wow. I'm going to be 100% Brady. I got none of that right.
Man, he's so kind to you.
Look, that's
because
what it's like.
15 to 15.3.
Oh, is that? Wait, did I really lose by 0.3?
No, you won by 0.3. He doesn't redact his points.
Look,
listen,
Brady, you absolutely crushed this game. I didn't get a single thing right other than there technically is a practical light on that table, and if that's worth it.
I'll be honest. I was watching the video back because I had no idea what I did. But I heard you say soft controlled light, and I heard you say practical. So and spotlight. So in my head, I'm like, nailed it. I don't know if you said it in that order or those lights were where you said they were, but you did amazing.
Hey, look, I will take it. I will take it, and I will run with it. Look, I think that this is so much fun to break down shots like this, and I just want to say thank you.
This all day. If there was another shot line around, I would do another round. But
hey, look, we definitely Drill's looking at me.
We have one, but it's up to you.
What the heck? Let's do it. We'll do.
I hear the people screaming encore.
Yeah, I hear it. I see it. Look, they're all in the chat.
All right, last one.
And
Brady, to be fair, this is more recent for both of you guys.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me. Okay.
All right. Here you go, Brady. Are you ready?
Okay, make it a big screen. Go ahead.
Brandon said encore. All
he's
right,
going big screen.
He's going full screen.
All right.
Cool. Easy.
Ooh.
All right.
He said, yeah.
All right. First, I'm going to fire it off first, and then I'll break down what the specifics are. Your key light frame left, you're going to have 2 of those little stick lights that are in each corner. You had some color light down below, and then you had a Lico shining a little spotlight texture on the backdrop. You didn't have anything overhead. All right, so what you had was a softbox. You controlled it. You had a grid over that, which is fantastic. Good work on that. Those stick lights or maybe some of those like full-time filmmaker ones that are out. I don't know, but they're decorative. They're cool. They play as practicals. You had some tubes down below, maybe a 2-foot tube on a purple fluorescent, or not purple fluorescent, purple like HSI. and then you just had a aperture spotlight or a Nanlite 60 or something like that with a little like textured circular gobo that was in there.
As we look up.
Oh yeah, that one. Oh, right there. Hey, and the stick. You see the breakdown. All right, yeah. How'd I do?
Hey, 100, bro. I don't know how else to look. You nailed it. I think what kills me is you go, there's nothing overhead. Just like easy. Like, I mean, yeah, absolutely nailed every part of it. Even the Amaran 2-foot tube, like right here. Like you got it. Absolutely crushed it.
All righty. Out of 10, Brandon.
Out of 10, 100. How do I do
10.
that?
Wow.
10 out of 10.
Wow, you've set the bar really high for yourself.
Back to 0.3 to give me a chance.
Actually, I'm gonna give him a 9.5 because he didn't mention the practical bounce I had of the white table to fill in underneath. So
I thought about it too. I was like, there's no way there's a white table there.
There's a white table there, and he missed it. So 9.5. Sorry.
9.5.
This is the third round.
This is the third round.
Can't be just giving out free points this time.
All right, Brandon, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
He gets a 2. Go ahead.
He gets a 2.
I'll say it's the same lighting setup, so don't stress about that.
That doesn't help me. Someone look, I just want Preston's comment to be pulled up on stream just for the people. It says up your game, Brady. 9.5 is unacceptable.
You're just really trying to like beat me down right now.
Look.
Brandon thinks you're beast mode.
Also, you can bring up Michael's that says mine like a steel trap. It was definitely referring to Brandon.
So hey, look, this is my show. Stop pulling up the chats that I don't want him to see. We're only pulling up the chats that make me the winner. Dude, I'm gonna lose this one too.
No, you got this.
Okay, so I saw it looked like a key light from the right side, 10. And then there was like a tungsten edge fill light from the other side. And because I saw it in the wide shot, I'm gonna guess it was a big key light, maybe shooting through like a 12 by or something like that, so that way they could light the person and the couch, since it was like the same setup between the two. Definitely nothing overhead, there was no table either. And I'm gonna say maybe a little bit of set design. Talent was there as well. They brought in a couch so that way it would look good for the set. And I'm gonna say they shot this on a camera.
Color theory.
That's it. I think my guesses are closer. Everything I said, I think, was factual.
That feels pretty good to me.
Alrighty,
all right. Let's see here. Let's see. I had to pull up. See, the thing is, if you studied my content, you would know all this. I got a breakdown right here in front of me.
I was told not to.
I DM'd it to you too.
You DM'd me this?
There's a whole breakdown chart, but
oh, dude, we should have brought that up.
Yeah, well, that's all right. So I would say you're not too far off. We've got that big key, the key light that we'll start with. That was through a 12 by.
What? Just
12
saying.
by half grid.
That's a 10 out of 10 energy.
That's a 10 out of 10 right there. Let's just stop right there. Congratulations to everybody. We nailed it. This was a great show. We appreciate it. Thank you, Brady, for coming on.
That's crazy. Okay. Yeah. No, it's good to see you guys.
Just gonna go home.
I'm already home. I don't know where to go. I'm just gonna go back to bed. No, so 12 by source. If we're getting really specific, I had a topper, which is black over top to keep it from going on the back cyc wall because we had a cyc wall. We had a bottomer to keep it from going too much on the floor, too much on the couch. And then we had siders that kept the light from spilling outwards on the cyc wall. Controlled light, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to the video I'm filming tonight. Controlled light if I get around to it. See it next week. Tungsten rim light. That is very true. That was a 300C with a Fresnel. And we just had that. It was actually playing in the wide shot. You can see that 1,000% on that wide yellow shot if we switched over to that. Oh, just kidding. Wrong shot. But it's there. But look into his eyes. You see the big key light. That tells everything. Only thing left after those two is the psych wall. See how it was yellow here and teal before? Fell through the cracks on this one. That's a 4-point deduction. It's a really but yeah, so
so the psych wall is lit with some type of
it's lit. We had like 8 just in the studio. There were like 8 Novas that were just rigged up above in blackout and like a DMX thing. So we just adjusted the colors for each interview.
So my mindset was, I see that little yellow pole there, and I thought everything to the left of that was paper, and everything to the right of that was just like how the light fell off because it was so blue in the last shot. But now I'm realizing that color on the left, see, I thought that was paper, and what was on the right was the psych. But that's just how good, I guess, the lighting is that like it, like you see how
I think you saved it. I think you just added on -3 points. So good job.
So Brady.
Yes, sir.
What was Brandon's score?
What did he give me?
I gave you a 9.5, sir. I gave you a 9.5.
I was going to say, I was thinking it wasn't quite what I got. I'm going to go with a 9.1.
Wait.
Oh, that's a tie.
That's a dead tie.
Is that a tie, Brady?
It was only 0.3 apart. That was strategic. I was just trying to win by 0.1.
Oh,
well, but you're bad at math.
Well, we're bad at math.
I'm going to say that you're bad at math and that it's a tie, because otherwise I lose.
It's Brandon's stream.
Oh, man. Someone said,
if I lose, do you just kick me out right away?
What? What'd you say?
If I lose, do you just kick me out right away? Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's how you. That's how you.
I mean, if I win.
Oh, if you obviously if you win, how do I press the goodbye button?
I do think that Brandon and I are very impressed.
Yes,
very impressed.
I think the chat
with your eye.
I think the chat should be.
Well,
very
thank you,
impressive.
but Brandon killed it as well on mine. I think that the second one he thought he was wrong. I think he was right. It sounds like you were spot on. So. No, I think it was very quick and very fair, and he's a smart, keen eye over there.
Hey, and honestly, what I think is so interesting is that, like, I think with each of our setups, every way that I think we also broke down how it could have been done is a way that it legitimately could have also been shot.
Yeah.
Like, we obviously tried to get it close, but like, it's, there's a lot of ways to light the same scene.
There's so many different ways. And I think that as you know, I'm a gaffer, and a lot of the times it's just kind of what I'm feeling in that moment where I'm like, oh, I want to pull this out of the truck, or I want to do it this way. It's achieving the same purpose, but it's done a very different looking way. So, I mean, it's tough to guess the exact fixture unless it's a hard source. Like if it's a soft source, you can soften the light a million different ways.
And I think that should be like the big takeaway, is that there's so many different ways to light the same scene. It just really comes down to like, what tools do you have? And the more knowledge you have around those tools, the more versatile you can actually get. And I think that's what makes it, like, I'll be honest, like for me, what made it so challenging was I know how skilled you are, that you could shoot the same scene the exact same way with like 6 different fixtures and make it look exactly the same, which is why, like, when it came to fixtures, I was like, dude, I'm just shooting at, fish in a barrel.
I forgot. So
like, that's just how, that's how it works. But dude, thank you so much for coming on. It was a fun game. I appreciate you coming on and dropping some knowledge and just letting people know, like, everything that's going on and how they can learn and how they can improve as, just filmmakers themselves. Really quick, I know I roughly talked about it, but I did want to let the people know.
Oh, wait, hold on. I know what you're going to say. I did not put my LUTs on that. So that second shot was not created with new Reverie LUTs. Check out the link that Brandon's going to put in the comments right now.
Yes.
But yeah, no, that was, -3 points.
No, dude. Seriously, if you guys are interested in LUTs, which I'll be honest, 9 times out of 10, I don't recommend LUTs for most people because not a lot of work goes into a lot of LUTs that go on sale. I know that's a very uncensored opinion to make publicly because a lot of creators sell a lot of LUTs. But I know that Brady worked not only himself, but he worked with a team in order to create these LUT packs. And so that way you know that they're going to be quality. And, just from seeing his work and seeing what he puts into them and knowing that I know the type of guy he is, that's the reason why I don't recommend, or that's the reason why I
Whoa, whoa,
don't.
whoa, whoa.
Let me finish. It's live. I'm allowed to make mistakes. That's the reason
He's
why
just
I
mad that I
don't
won the
feel
lightning
bad
game.
recommending his LUT pack. So definitely check them out. We have them linked in the comment section. We'll also have them in the chat. We'll also have them in the description if you're watching this on the replay. But dude, thank you for bringing your knowledge to this game. I can't wait to hang out with you next week. If
Dude,
anybody,
like tomorrow, don't I?
I'm getting
Maybe.
in so late, it'll probably be like, well, yeah, I guess we're staying at the same house. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. If you're up late,
I'll see you tomorrow.
I'm flying in.
Crazy.
Dude, that's wild. I feel so tired already. I didn't realize I was flying out tomorrow.
Just wait.
Just
wait.
now.
NAB Vegas, you think that it's gonna be like business and whatever, and like all the companies, and it's not. It's
No.
yeah. I'll see you at the
Hey,
B&H party at 4 in the morning.
Don't say that. It is business. My wife watches this stream. It's work.
This is like the most corporate conference that I have ever been to.
That's right. Suit and tie. But dude, I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow, man. Thank you. Thank you all so much. Thank you if you're watching this so much. Until then, I'll catch you next time.
Thanks, bro.
Okay.
Oh man. Thanks for another banger. Looking forward to hearing about NAB from Brandon. Dude, yeah, next week will be our post NAB show. If you guys have questions, if there's anything you guys want to know about NAB, definitely leave that in the chat. Also, you can send me a DM over on Instagram. And of course, if you are going to be at NAB, hit me up because I have some free merch that I'm going to be bringing out there. I'll have this flannel. I'll also have this hat right here. This is our official Creative Fam hat. This is our official Creative Fam flannel. If you are a member of the Creative Fam, you like this live stream, you enjoy the content that we put out on this platform, and you enjoy the guests that we get to talk to every single week, definitely tune in, reach out to me, see me at NAB, and I'll have some free stuff for you. But thank you guys so much for checking out this episode of Uncensored. We'll be back next week breaking down NAB and just having another blast, and I'll catch you guys in that episode. See you guys next week. Peace.